Please remain standing for the national anthem sung by firefighter Regina Wilson.
Detail, hand salute.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, two.
Thank you, firefighter Wilson. Please remain standing while FDNY chaplain Reverend Pamela Saxton Holmes delivers the invocation.
Let us pray. To the God of many names, the loving and almighty God, today we gather with grateful hearts to celebrate the extraordinary men and women of our FDNY family whose courage, sacrifice, and devotion to others have brought us together for this sacred occasion. We pause to reflect on the remarkable actions that are being honored today, moments when ordinary men and women were called upon to do extraordinary things, moments when alarms sounded, when seconds mattered, when uncertainty filled the air, and when lives hung in the balance. In those moments, these members did not think first of themselves. They did not retreat from danger. Instead, they stepped forward with courage, determination, and unwavering commitment to protect others. And for that, indeed, oh God, we say thank you. Thank you for bravery that cannot be measured, for the quiet strength that reveals itself in the time of crisis, and for selflessness that places the lives of strangers above safety. We thank you for firefighters who entered burning buildings, for EMTs and paramedics who brought hope amid tragedy, for the dispatchers whose calm voices guided others through chaos, for every single member whose training and skill and dedication made the difference between despair and hope. Today is not just simply about medals. We celebrate lives, we celebrate families, we celebrate children who were returned to their parents, and parents who were returned to their children, and neighbors who were given another chance because of our members who chose sacrifice over self. And so, Lord, we thank you for the gift of these honorees. Through their example, teach us to act with courage. They remind us that greatness is not found simply in recognition, but in the willingness to help someone else. So, Father, watch over the members of the FDNY. Protect those who stand ready at this very moment to answer the next call for help. Keep them safe in their work, strengthen them in their challenges, and comfort them in the difficult times. God bless this department. Bless this city and bless all who have gathered here today. And we all say amen, amen, and amen.
Thank you, Reverend Saxton Holmes. Please retire the colors. Will everyone please be seated? Good morning, everyone. No, this is a day of celebration, excitement. Y'all can make all the noise you want. So we're gonna start and keep the energy high. We're gonna start it high and keep it high. Once again, good morning, everyone. There we go. Welcome. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Captain Andrew Brown, and it is an honor to serve as Master of Ceremonies on such a proud day for the department. On behalf of Mayor Zoran Mamdani, Fire Commissioner Lillian Bonsignor, Chief of Department John M. Esposito, Deputy Mayors, our executive staff, union, and elected officials, I would like to welcome you all to today's FDNY Medal Day ceremony. A special welcome to all of today's medal winners. You make us proud. We are also honored to have several of our Medal Day donors, as well as the families of Medal Day recipients joining us. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, the Honorable Mayor Zoran Kwame Mamdani. Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, everyone. It is a privilege to welcome you this morning to City Hall as we honor the courage and the commitment of FDNY members. We are here together today to recognize the heroism of men and women being honored today, those whose service and whose sacrifice have made such immense contributions to our city. As we do so, I want to pause to acknowledge all those who make their work possible, many of whom are here with us today. The family members, the friends, those whose steadfast love and support provide the foundation for their courage. Can we please have a round of applause for the incredible family and friends? I also want to thank our Fire Commissioner, Lillian Bonsignore, as well as our Chief of Department, John Esposito, for your dedicated leadership of the FDNY. Every morning across our city, New Yorkers wake up and go to work. They have a cup of coffee, they pack their bag, they say goodbye to their loved ones at the door. They set about their days safe in the knowledge that if something goes wrong, there are people across our city whose daily purpose it is to protect them, to put out fires, to heal them if injured. Every morning across our city, FDNY members wake up and go to work too. Except for you, a day at work means running into the fire so that others can run away. It means choosing to save, to serve in the face of danger. It means arriving at the scene of an emergency and putting your city before yourself. Thanks to your bravery, there are New Yorkers this evening who are sitting down to dinner with their families, children whose parents are around to play with them, New Yorkers who we otherwise would have lost. I know I look out on a collection of New Yorkers who shrug off that kind of praise with humility. And I know that when you are putting out a fire or loading someone into the back of an ambulance, glory is far from your mind. I was just doing my job could very well be the unofficial slogan of the FDNY. And yet you do your jobs because you love your city, because you have dedicated your lives to making New Yorkers safer each and every day in ways often unrecognized. Today gives us the opportunity for something different. It offers us an opportunity to recognize your work, to recognize the ways in which you have served our city. Over the next few hours, we will hear the stories of 50 extraordinary medals Stories that illustrate what it really means to heed the call of a life of sacrifice and a life of service. We will also have the privilege of witnessing a number of firsts in FDNY history, including the first medal honoring the Special Investigations Unit for Fire Prevention, the first medal honoring our fire alarm dispatchers, and the first time ever in New York City history that a father and a son will receive FDNY medals on the same day. Today's medals represent far more than much-deserved recognition. They are a testament to the bond between this department and the people that this department protects every day. They are a symbol of 8.5 million New Yorkers' gratitude. So on behalf of every New Yorker, those whose homes you've saved, whose families you've kept whole, and those who sleep soundly at night, knowing that if they ever needed you, you would be there. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mayor Mamdani. And of course, let's go Knicks. Next, we will hear from Commissioner Lillian Bonsignor.
Good morning, FDNY family. What a great day. What a great day, and welcome to City Hall. Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayors, thank you for having us here today. We look forward to this all year. I love FDNY Medal Day. It's a moment that celebrates the best and the bravest among us, and one I truly have looked forward to every single year. Today is an amazing day for members receiving medals, for their families, and for all the wonderful supporters gathered here to celebrate these incredible stories. Thank you to City Hall for hosting us on such a memorable day. In the FDNY, there is never a dull moment. Responding to fires and medical emergencies is what we do every single day, every single tour. Our jobs require that we repeatedly put ourselves in harm's way in service of others. When the call comes in, we head out, no matter what time, no matter what location, no matter what threat looms ahead. That's why days like today are so incredible, because we take a moment to take stock of the truly hair-raising, remarkable, and heroic responses that we know and you will remember for the rest of your career. The moments we know we saved a life. What an incredible, heartfelt moment when we know we've achieved that. One of today's top medals is an incredible story of the fire lieutenant who entered a Bronx apartment building with heavy fire without the safety of a hose line. And crawled past heavy fire and thick smoke to locate an unconscious civilian. He handed that victim off to arriving members before going back inside to help extinguish that fire. Congratulations to Lieutenant Patrick Donlin on winning the department's top medal. But wait, there's more. And to his son, firefighter Timothy Donlin, who is also getting a medal today. I do think this is the first time a father and son are both receiving medals on the same day. You will also hear the harrowing story of two paramedics who encountered a heavily involved fire in a 4-story apartment building in Brooklyn while responding to another assignment. They helped with the evacuations, gave critical information to firefighters about where those people were trapped, and then administered the medical care to those people. There are also a few new medals. One meant to honor the Special Investigations Unit of the Fire Prevention, whose work ensuring compliance with fire code is saving lives every single day. Another is for fire alarm dispatchers, whose calm under pressure sets the tone for successful responses. Another is named for one of our fallen members, These stories today are all remarkable, and incredibly, it's just part of a day's work at the FDNY. Take a moment. Take a moment today to breathe all this in. Remember the scene here on the grand steps of City Hall, in front of all your family and your friends. In a moment, I hope will define your careers. Know that this work you do is awesome and it matters. And at a moment's notice, you are capable of extraordinary things. I am grateful to be here with you to celebrate. I congratulate you on a job well done. Enjoy today. You've earned it. Thank you, and stay safe.
Thank you, Fire Commissioner Lillian Bonsignor. We will now hear from Chief of Department, John Esposito.
Good morning and thank you. I think 75 and 33 have it right with these alternate uniforms. It's great to see you. It's an honor to be here with you today as we recognize the very best of the FDNY, the members who went above and beyond when the conditions demanded it. Medal Day is one of the proudest traditions in the FDNY. It's a day when we pause to recognize the extraordinary courage and determination of our members. Every day they go into dangerous and uncertain situations, often exposing themselves to enormous personal risk because they know someone needs help. One of the medals that we're going to present today is the probationary firefighter Thomas A. Wiley Medal. It's given to probationary firefighters, so it's not given every year. And here to present the medal is his son and daughter. His son, Joe, was just promoted to lieutenant in the fire department last week. So congratulations, Joe. Each medal represents a moment where our members stepped up to the plate. And although they'd probably say it's all part of the job, we really know that it's a lot more than that. Each year, as we read through these Medal Day write-ups, we are reminded of what the job asks of our members. It asks them to respond when others are running out of time. It asks them to enter burning buildings, operate in heavy smoke, intense heat, reach victims trapped above a fire, pull people from the water, and treat critically injured people, and make split-second decisions in moments when hesitation is not an option. We're also reminded that what you do at work matters. It matters to your company and unit. It matters to the peoples whose lives were saved. I know that most of you, or all of you, are very humble, but I want to make sure that you realize the impact and the gravity of your actions. There are people alive and well today because of what you did. Your training, experience, capability, and bravery all came together, and you were ready and courageous. Thank you for that great work. Across the city, FDNY members do this every day. An example happened on an evening in June of 2025. During a rapidly spreading fire, members of Rescue Company 3 heard a firefighter's Viber alert activate. They located the injured member and began removing them under intensifying and spreading fire conditions. Ladder Company 56 and Rescue 3 coordinated the effort to remove the member from the building. Once outside, an EMS lieutenant recognized the severity of the situation and directed waiting paramedics to provide life-saving treatment for severe smoke inhalation. For this job, 4 medals are being presented today. Lieutenant Joseph Light, Rescue Company 3. Firefighter Peter Constantine of Rescue Company 3. And congratulations to Pete, who retired about 2 weeks ago. EMS Lieutenant Brian Codio from EMS Special Operations Command, and Ladder Company 56. The entire company is being honored today. That rescue is an example of the teamwork among fire and EMS members that makes the FDNY so extraordinary. It shows what happens when training, trust, courage, and coordination all come together. So to all of today's medal recipients, thank you for your service and your continued commitment to the life-saving mission of the FDNY. God bless you, and God bless the FDNY.
Thank you very much, Chief Espo. We will now commence with the presentation of medals. I will ask the ceremonial officers to escort the mayor, fire commissioner, and chief of department to the area in front of the stage. Hey, Malcolm, what's the chances I remember I put this back down? 0? Cold-blooded, you know, that's a little rough. We didn't go, that's a little rough. 0? Nah. Our first medal is the Chief of Department, Peter J. Gansey Jr. Medal, and the New York State Honorary Fire Chiefs Association Medal, the department's highest honor, awarded to Lieutenant Patrick T. Donlin of Engine Company 75. On October 8, 2025, Engine 75 arrived first due to a 6-story apartment building in the Bronx with heavy smoke showing and reports of trapped occupants. Lieutenant Donlin knew his unit would be operating alone during these critical minutes before additional companies arrived. With civilians trapped and the fire rapidly intensifying from uncontrolled venting, Lieutenant Donlin entered the apartment alone before a hose line was in place. Crawling past heavy fire and thick smoke, he located an unconscious civilian beyond the main body of fire, transmitted at 1045, and removed the victim while shielding her from the flames with his own body. Lieutenant Donlin then handed the victim off to arriving members before rejoining his company, continuing extinguishing the fire. For his extraordinary bravery, initiative, and selfless actions under extreme condition, the Chief of Department, Peter J. Gansey Jr. Medal, and the New York State Honorary Fire Chiefs Association Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Patrick Donlin, Engine Company 75, the Animal House. $49 more to go. Our next medal is the Christopher J. Prescott Medal, the highest honor in FDNY EMS operations, awarded to paramedic Natasha Doyle and now probationary firefighter Paul Salatis. On December 23rd, 2025, paramedics Doyle and Salatis encountered a heavily involved fire in a 4-story apartment building in Brooklyn while responding to another assignment. Without hesitation, they requested additional resources and entered the building to assist with evacuations. Inside, they encountered a distraught resident who told them family members were trapped inside an apartment. The medics escorted the civilian to safety while relaying critical information to the arriving firefighters. Moments later, firefighters removed 2 victims from the apartment, including one suffering from life-threatening smoke inhalation. Paramedic Doyle and paramedic Salatis immediately initiated advanced life-saving treatment and administered critical medication that reversed the patient's condition during transport to the hospital. For their bravery, professionalism, and life-saving medical care on the dangerous condition, the Christopher J. Prescott Medal is awarded to paramedic Natasha Doyle and probationary firefighter Paul Salatis III of Station 44. Congratulations. Our next presentation is the Brooklyn Citizen Medal and Firefighter Louis Valentino Award, awarded to Firefighter Matthew Gildersleeve of Ladder Company 147. On December 23rd, 2025, Ladder 147 responded to a multiple dwelling fire in Brooklyn with reports of trapped occupants. Firefighter Gildersleeve entered the fire apartment and was met with heavy smoke, extreme heat, and clutter. Firefighter Gildersleeve crawled deeper into the apartment and heard faint moaning from down the hallway. Pushing past the advanced fire, he located an unconscious man lying face down on the floor. After transmitting at 10:45, Firefighter Gildersleeve removed the victim through the burning apartment, shielding him from the flames and his own body until he reached waiting members outside the apartment. For his courage, determination, and aggressive search under severe condition, the Brooklyn Citizens Medal and Firefighter Louis Valentino Award is awarded to Firefighter Matthew Gildersleeve, Ladder 147, the Pride of Flatbush. Just a few more. Up next is the Hugh Bonner Medal and Honor Legion Medal awarded to Lieutenant Joseph Light of Rescue Company 3. On June 22nd, 2025, Rescue Company 3 responded to a rapidly growing fire in the Bronx private dwelling caused by a burning e-bike. Lieutenant Light conducted primary searches on the second floor and attic. Fire began to breach the attic stairs, potentially blocking his exit. As conditions deteriorated, Lieutenant Light heard a vibrate alert coming from a firefighter from Ladder 46. Lieutenant Light found the firefighter disoriented and unresponsive in a rear bedroom. Working with other members of Rescue 3, Lieutenant Light helped locate and remove the severely disoriented firefighter through the burning attic and down the stairwell to safety, where EMS personnel immediately began treatment. For his leadership, courage, and decisive action that saved the life of a fellow firefighter, the Hugh Bonner Medal and Honor Legion Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Joseph Light, Rescue Company 3. Big blow. Now we will present the Eudora Arroyo Medal to firefighter Savario Bosco, firefighter Christopher Nigro, EMT Miguel Sato, and EMT Michael Spallata of Station 47. On July 4, 2025, multiple swimmers were caught in a dangerous rip current off Rockaway Beach after lifeguards had gone off duty. The first rescue, firefighter Bosco, EMT Michael Spallata, and FDNY Robotics Unit observed 3 swimmers in distress near the jetty on Beach 98. EMT Spallata immediately entered the water with members of the FDNY Robotics Unit to reach the victims. Firefighter Bosco then entered the water with a rescue tether and swam out to assist the rescuers and victims. The rescuers swam approximately 60 yards offshore to reach the struggling swimmers. Together, they secured the victims and brought all 3 safely back to shore. Later that evening, another swimmer was swept away toward a jetty in the hazardous surf conditions. Beachgoers had flagged down EMT Miguel Soto and firefighter Christopher Nigro to alert them about a swimmer in distress. The young victim was caught in a rip current and swept toward the jetty. EMT Soto immediately notified dispatch while firefighter Nigro swam nearly 100 yards through rough water to reach the victim. He handed them a rescue torpedo to keep them afloat before swimming back to shore. In these incidents, these members acted without hesitation and placed themselves in harm's way to save others. For their courage, the Eudora Arroyo Medal is awarded to firefighter Savario Bosco, EMT Michael Spallata, firefighter Christopher Nigro, and EMT Miguel Soto, Station 47. Congratulations. I'll let you know when the halfway mark happens. Intermission. What do you think about this? No, yeah, it was. No, it was a little white flash. Over 20 years, the only thing I'll be known for is taking a header off the stage. That's it. Gonna lay there. Chalk lining. Don't even call EMS, call sanitation. Up next is the Battalion Chief Thomas J. Neary Bronx and Harlem Firefighter Medal awarded to firefighter Peter Constantine of Rescue Company 3. This is the second medal being awarded for this job today. On June 22nd, 2025, Rescue Company 3 responded to a rapidly advanced fire in a Bronx private dwelling. While operating in the attic above the fire, firefighter Peter Constantine and Rescue 3 members encountered worsening heat and zero visibility. As members prepared to withdraw from the worsening condition, they heard a vibe alert going off. Without hesitation, firefighter Constantine joined Lieutenant Light in searching deeper into the smoke-filled attic and located a disoriented firefighter. Battling clutter and rapidly deteriorating conditions, firefighter Constantine grabbed the firefighter by his shoulder straps and began dragging him towards safety. Despite the danger, firefighter Constantine and other members removed the unconscious firefighter down the burning attic stairs to awaiting EMS personnel. For his bravery and unwavering commitment to aiding a fellow firefighter, the Battalion Chief Thomas J. Neary Bronx and Harlem Firefighter Medal is awarded to firefighter Peter Constantine, Rescue Company 3, Big Blue. Our next medal is the Emily Trevor Mary B. Warren Medal, awarded to firefighter Timothy McGuire of Rescue Company 5. On January 15th, 2025, Rescue Company 5 responded to a second alarm fire in a 7-story apartment building in Brooklyn. Heavy smoke and fire had already spread through the hallways and stairwells as trapped residents called for help above the fire. Firefighter McGuire advanced up the smoke-filled staircase without the protection of a hose line and heard faint cries coming from the upper floors. Crawling through zero visibility, he located several trapped occupants, civilians on the landing, including an unconscious infant and a semi-conscious mother. Cradling the child in his arms, firefighter McGuire guided the mother down the stairs to safety before immediately beginning life-saving treatment on the child outside the building. Despite the dangerous conditions and exhausting rescue, he returned inside to assist injured firefighters operating on the fire floor. For his selfless actions that saved lives, the Emily Trevor Mary B. Warren Medal is awarded to firefighter Timothy McGuire, Rescue Company 5, Blue Thunder. Up next is the Thomas E. Crimmins Medal, awarded to firefighter Michael Prokop of Marine Company 1. On April 10, 2025, Marine 1 responded to a helicopter crash on the Hudson River near Pier 40. Arriving on scene, members found the helicopter upside down, sinking and surrounded by aviation fuel. Without hesitation, firefighter Prokop entered the fuel-covered water and dove beneath the submerged helicopter to search for trapped victims. In zero visibility, he located a victim trapped by a seatbelt and used a knife to free her before bringing her to Marine 1. Firefighter Prokop immediately re-entered the wreckage and located a second victim, a child, still trapped inside the sinking helicopter. Despite sharp debris, he freed the child and brought the victim back to Marine 1, where members began emergency medical treatment. For his relentless determination during an extremely dangerous rescue operation, the Thomas E. Crimmins Medal is awarded to firefighter Michael Prokop, Marine Company 1. Congratulations. Our next presentation is the Thomas A. Kenny Memorial Medal, awarded to now Lieutenant Brian Mahoney. On November 13, 2025, Ladder 42 responded to a high-rise fire in the Bronx with reports of trapped occupants. Arriving members found a woman trapped behind a window gate as heavy smoke poured out from the apartment. After assisting in positioning Ladder 42's aerial in the window, then firefighter Mahoney ascended the ladder and began to remove the child gate to rescue the woman. She told Lieutenant Mahoney that her boyfriend was still trapped inside. Lieutenant Mahoney entered the apartment through the window and began to search for the missing man in extreme heat and zero visibility. Knowing he was the only firefighter in the apartment, Lieutenant Mahoney pushed deeper into the apartment and located an unconscious man. Mahoney cleared the path through clutter and began to pull the victim to safety. His aggressive search under extreme conditions led to the successful removal of this victim. For this, the Thomas A. Kennedy Memorial Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Brian Mahoney, Ladder Company 42, La Casa de la Fonte. Now we will present the Walter Scott Medal awarded to firefighter Daniel Sullivan of Ladder Company 116, detail to Marine 6. On August 13, 2025, Marine 6 responded to a water rescue beneath the Roosevelt Island Bridge. A victim was trapped against bridge pilings in the rapidly moving East River as waves crashed overhead. Firefighter Sullivan leaped from the fireboat into the raging current and was immediately swept into the pilings himself. Regaining control, he reached the victim and secured them to a rescue flotation device before fighting through the dangerous current. As the current swept them beneath the bow of the fireboat, Firefighter Sullivan held tightly to the victim, despite being repeatedly submerged underwater. Members aboard Marine 6 hauled both to safety and transferred the victim to EMS. For his courage, strength, and determination during a dangerous water rescue, the Walter Scott Medal is awarded to firefighter Daniel Sullivan, Ladder Company 116, the Flaming Skulls. Our next medal is the John H. Prentice Medal awarded to firefighter James Lafferty of Engine Company 76, detailed to Ladder Company 22 on the day of the fire. On December 9, 2025, Ladder Company 22 arrived at a top floor fire in a 6-story Manhattan apartment building with fire extended into the cock loft and blowing out multiple windows. Ladder 22 received reports that someone was trapped inside one of the fire apartments. Firefighter Lafferty remained near the fire using his extinguisher to hold back the flames. Amid the intense heat and zero visibility, he heard faint cries for help coming from a room. Crawling on his stomach beneath the fire, Firefighter Lafferty pushed into the room and located a badly burned victim trapped in the corner. He immediately transmitted a 1045 and removed the victim through the apartment while shielding them from the fire with his own body. For his aggressive rescue under extreme fire conditions, the John H. Prentice Medal is awarded to firefighter James Lafferty, Engine Company 76, Monumental Pride. Up next is the Henry D. Brookman Medal awarded to Lieutenant Frank Crisculo of Ladder Company 41. In August 2025, Ladder 41 responded first due to a heavily involved top floor fire in a 6-story Bronx apartment building. Lieutenant Crisculo and his inside team ascended the smoke-filled stairwell and forced entry into the fire apartment. Inside, Lieutenant Crisculo encountered a heavy smoke condition. After directing members to begin searches, he continued deeper into the apartment toward the rear bedrooms. There, he located an unconscious man laying face down on the floor and transmitted a 1045. As fire extended into the hallway, Lieutenant Crisculo shielded the victim with his body and pushed through the flames without the protection of a charge hose line. Assisted by members of Ladder 41, he removed the victim into the hallway and eventually handed him off to EMS personnel outside the building. For his daring rescue under severe conditions, the Henry D. Brookman Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Frank Crisculo, Ladder Company 41, Morris Park Fire Department. Up next is the Chief Ulysses Grant Leadership Medal awarded to Deputy Chief Joseph Nocerino of Division 5. On December 30th, 2025, while driving through Brooklyn, Deputy Chief Nocerino noticed smoke coming from a nearby home. He immediately diverted to investigate and discovered a two-story house heavily involved in fire. Without protective equipment and before fire companies arrived, Deputy Chief Nocerino entered the smoke-filled building and began evacuating residents from both the fire building and the attached exposures. After ensuring civilians on the first floor were safe, he advanced to the second floor through heavy smoke and heat to check for additional occupants. After confirming the floor was cleared, he closed the apartment door to contain the fire until arriving companies could begin extinguishing operations. Deputy Chief Nocerino then coordinated with EMS personnel and assumed medical branch operation for the incident. For his leadership, initiative, and calm command during a rapidly evolving emergency, the Chief Ulysses Grant Leadership Medal is awarded to Deputy Chief Joseph Nocerino, Division 5. Congratulations. Thank you. Our next medal is the Michael J. Delahanty Medal awarded to Captain Anthony Harper of Division 8, detailed Engine Company 163 on the day of the incident. On January 17, 2025, Engine Company 163 arrived first due to a basement fire in a private dwelling with reports of a trapped 2-year-old. With no ladder company yet on the scene and hose lines still being stretched, Captain Harper immediately entered the smoke-filled home to find the child. Descending into the basement without a hose line, Captain Harper encountered intense heat and fire extending across the stairwell. Pushing deeper into the basement apartment, he located the unconscious toddler lying on a lower bunk of a bunk bed. Captain Harper transmitted at 10:45 and carried the child through the smoke and flames to a rear basement window, where he handed the toddler to ladder 86 members operating outside. Due to his swift and decisive actions, the child recovered and celebrated his 3rd birthday with his family a few days later. For his courage and selfless actions operating alone under extreme conditions, the Michael J. Delahanty Medal is awarded to Captain Anthony Harper, Division 8. Congratulations, Ant. Now we present the Mayor Fiorarola H. LaGuardia Medal awarded to Lieutenant Scott Ettinger of Engine Company 155. Engine 155 responded to a fire on the 2nd floor of a private dwelling in April 2025. Arriving first due, Lieutenant Ettinger forced entry into the heavily involved apartment, knowing there were reports of trapped occupants. Inside, Lieutenant Ettinger heard someone calling out from deeper into the apartment. He crawled approximately 20 feet toward the main body of fire without protection of a charged hose line. Lieutenant Ettinger located a barely conscious victim and transmitted at 10:45, shielding the victim from the intense heat and removed the civilian past the fire, down the stairs and into the care of arriving firefighters and EMS personnel. Lieutenant Ettinger then regrouped with Engine 155 and continued operations. For his aggressive search and life-saving rescue under dangerous conditions, the Mayor Fiorarola H. LaGuardia Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Scott Ettinger, Engine Company 155, the Hot Corner. Our next medal is a William F. Conrad Medal awarded to firefighter Jason Perry of Ladder Company 17. Ladder 17 responded to a phone alarm for a fire in a Bronx high-rise in September 2025. The company saw smoke pushing from a 12th floor apartment and immediately made their way to the fire floor. Firefighter Perry forced entry and began a right-hand search in high heat and zero visibility. Passing the fire in the living room, Firefighter Perry searched down the hallway and into a rear bedroom where he located a teen victim trapped between a bed and a wall. With assistance from other members, Firefighter Perry moved the victim through clutter and smoke to the elevator for EMS care. For his bravery and life-saving search, The William F. Conrad Medal is awarded to firefighter Jason Perry, Ladder Company 17, the Green Berets. Up next is the Chief John J. McElligott Medal and Firefighters Fitzpatrick and Frisbee Award, awarded to firefighter Michael Bonamo of Ladder Company 33. At Bronx Box 3181, Ladder 33 arrived to heavy fire venting from a third-floor apartment. Engine 75 had already located and removed one victim, but reports quickly came in. Another civilian, a child, remained trapped inside. Firefighter Bonomo entered the apartment and began searching through heavy clutter and smoke. As fire rolled into the hallway, firefighter Bonomo crawled beneath the intense heat and searched the back room, where he found a young child. With the hallway packed with clutter and an advancing hose line, he realized removal through the apartment would be extremely difficult. Firefighter Bonomo made the critical decision to remove the child through the bedroom window to tie Ladder 33's bucket. For his composure and life-saving decisions under pressure, the Chief John J. McElligott Medal is awarded to firefighter Michael Bonomo, Ladder Company 33, the Animal House. The next medal is the Thomas F. Doherty Medal, awarded to firefighter Timothy Donlin of Ladder Company 175. In the early morning hours in Brooklyn, Ladder 175 responded to a top-floor fire with reports of 2 people trapped. Firefighter Donlin entered with the inside team before a charge hose line was in place, carrying only a portable extinguisher. Inside the apartment, fire was rolling overhead. 2 rooms were heavily involved and visibility was nearly zero. Firefighter Donlin used his extinguisher to knock back flames and enable the rest of his inside team to search for victims. Heading deeper into the apartment, firefighter Donlin located an unconscious civilian and began removal through smoke and heat. Carrying the unconscious victim, firefighter Donlin simultaneously continued to operate his extinguisher to protect his fellow members as they completed their search. For his actions in extreme condition, the Thomas F. Doherty Medal is awarded to firefighter Timothy Donlin, Ladder Company 175, East New York Trucking Company. Our next presentation is the Albert S. Johnson Medal, awarded to Lieutenant Thomas Murphy of Ladder Company 175. At the same Brooklyn fire, Lieutenant Murphy led Ladder 175 inside team into a top-floor apartment where civilians were reported trapped. After forcing entry, Lieutenant Murphy directed his team forward with only the can extinguisher available for protection. As firefighter Donlin held back the flames, Lieutenant Murphy pressed towards the front bedroom through intense heat and near total darkness. Inside, he located an unconscious man who was not breathing. Understanding that the victim needed immediate medical care, Lieutenant Murphy began removing him from the bedroom through the hallway and out of the apartment as fire continued to advance overhead. Because of his leadership and the coordinated efforts of Ladder 175 inside team, 2 endangered civilians were removed from the apartment in a coordinated manner. For his decisive leadership, the Albert S. Johnson Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Thomas Murphy, Ladder Company 175, East New York Trucking Company. Up next is the Tracy Allen Lee Medal, awarded to Captain Alexander Califf, Paramedic Jose Parra, and Paramedic Paul Yun of Station 4. During a barricaded suspect incident in Manhattan, EMS units were operating near an active threat when the situation suddenly escalated. Captain Califf had assumed command of the EMS medical branch and positioned ALS and BLS resources as NYPD ESU searched for a suspect who had fired at officers. Without warning, multiple gunshots were fired. Captain Califf, Paramedic Yoon, and Paramedic Para immediately advanced to the 6th floor, where they found a wounded NYPD officer in the hallway. Operating under dangerous and uncertain conditions, paramedics Yoon and Para rapidly removed the officer from harm's way, treated the gunshot wound, and coordinated transport to Bellevue Hospital. Captain Califf maintained command presence throughout the incident, coordinating additional resources, and ensuring continued care. Later, when the wounded suspect was removed, Paramedic Yoon provided treatment and transport with professionalism. For their courage, leadership, and clinical excellence under fire, the Tracy Allen Lee Medal is awarded to Captain Alexander Califf, Paramedic Jose Para, and Paramedic Paul Yoon, Station 4. Congratulations. That memo was in there, huh? Huh? Oh, granola bar, couple of oats, couple of chips of chocolate. Danny, I know you wouldn't eat that. The chocolate, your physique, you don't mess with stuff like that. I know. I know. I like the way that sounds. Yep. Talk to me. Yeah? Okay. On the day of the incident. The day of the incident, he wasn't assigned. Yeah, detail to. Hold on. Our next medal is the Vincent J. Kane Medal awarded to firefighter John Berger, Rescue Company 5. This is the second medal awarded to members for their exceptional actions at this incident. At a second alarm fire in a 7-story Brooklyn apartment building, firefighter Berger was assigned to search the floor above the fire as smoke and heat rapidly spread through the stairwells. Operating without a hose line, he climbed through zero visibility and punishing heat to search for trapped occupants. While operating on the 3rd floor, firefighter Berger heard fellow Rescue 5 firefighter Tim McGuire calling for help with trapped civilians in the stairwell. Berger immediately changed direction and crawled back through thick smoke towards the landing. There, he discovered an unconscious child. Firefighter Berger carefully carried the child back past the fire and down to the command post, where he immediately began life-saving treatment until EMS personnel took over. After ensuring the child was taken care of, he returned upstairs to continue operations. For his quick thinking and selfless actions under extreme conditions, the Vincent J. Kane Medal is awarded to firefighter John Berger, Rescue Company 5, Big Blue Thunder. Up next is the Brummer Medal awarded to firefighter Mark Hershey of Rescue Company 2. In February 2024, at a heavily involved fire in Brooklyn Brownstone, firefighter Hershey realized the primary search of the 2nd floor had not yet been completed. While fire consumed the floors above, he entered a smoke-filled apartment alone to search for trapped occupants. Inside, firefighter Hershey encountered extreme heat, blackout condition, and severe clutter. As fire spread through the apartment and window bars eliminated any secondary means of escape. He continued searching room by room despite rapidly deteriorating conditions. Near the front of the apartment, firefighter Hershey discovered an unconscious victim trapped beneath debris and a fallen bookshelf. He began the difficult removal through the cluttered apartment until additional members arrived to assist. For his persistence and courageous rescue under extreme conditions, the Bronze Medal is awarded to firefighter Mark Hershey, Rescue Company 2, The Rescue. Our next presentation is the Emerald Society Medal awarded to firefighter Alfred Rollinson of Rescue Company 3. On a hot summer night in the Bronx, Rescue Company 3 responded to a first-floor fire in a multiple dwelling with reports of trapped civilians. Firefighter Rollinson climbed to the third floor through worsened smoke and heat, where he located disoriented occupants struggling to breathe. After guiding civilians to safety, firefighter Rollinson learned the occupants' parents were still trapped inside. Teaming up with firefighter Daniel Strauss from Ladder Company 59, he immediately returned to the smoke-filled apartment. Together, the firefighters located an unconscious victim on a couch and removed them to safety. Despite exhaustion and worsening conditions, they returned a third time and located another unconscious occupant inside the bathroom, carrying the victim downstairs to EMS personnel. All three rescues were completed in just minutes. For his bravery, determination, and relentless effort under extreme condition, the Emerald Society Medal is awarded to firefighter Albert Robinson, Rescue Company 3, Big Blue. The next medal is the Holy Name Society Medal awarded to firefighter Daniel Strauss of Ladder Company 59. This is the second medal awarded for bravery at this incident. Operating above a first-floor fire in the Bronx, firefighter Strauss was initially assigned to vent the stairwell and improve condition for firefighters searching the upper floors. While carrying out the task, he heard calls for assistance from Rescue Company 3. Firefighter Strauss immediately responded and joined firefighter Ronaldson in assisting a disoriented civilian to safety. Moments later, they learned two more occupants remained trapped inside the apartment. Without hesitation, both firefighters returned to the smoke-filled apartment and located an unconscious victim on a couch. After removing that occupant, they re-entered the apartment a third time despite worsening heat and zero visibility. Working together, they located a third unconscious victim inside a bathroom and carried the civilian downstairs to EMS personnel. For his teamwork and bravery during multiple rescues under dangerous conditions, the Holy Name Society Medal is awarded to firefighter Daniel Strauss, Ladder Company 59, the Blue Devils. Now we present the Chief Wesley Williams Medal awarded to firefighter Thomas Mealy of Ladder Company 133. At a Queens private dwelling fire with reports of a trapped civilian on the second floor, firefighter Mealy entered with Ladder's 133's inside team and began searching through heavy smoke, high heat, and zero visibility. While searching a rear bedroom, the window suddenly failed, and fire auto-exposed into the room, causing fire to roll directly over firefighter Mealy's head. Despite the rapidly worsening conditions, he continued his search as members called for a hose line to protect the floor above. Moments later, firefighter Mealy located an unconscious elderly woman on the bed. He began removing the victim toward the stairs where members brought the civilian outside for EMS treatment. For his perseverance, bravery, and determination operating above a working fire, the Chief Wesley Williams Medal is awarded to firefighter Thomas Mealy, Ladder Company 133, Merrick Magix. Up next is the Near to Mid Society and Franklin Delano Roosevelt Medal presented to Lieutenant Scott Altman of Squad Company 41. On June 25th, 2025, as temperatures soared, Squad 41 responded to a first floor fire in a 5-story Bronx building with reports of people trapped. Lieutenant Altman and his team, firefighters Alexander Hillard and Matthew Guth, were assigned to search the upper floors. At the lobby, they faced high heat and thick smoke, forcing immediate downing of the SCBA face pieces. In zero visibility, Altman found an unconscious woman at the end of the hallway on the 3rd floor. He called for assistance, and with firefighter Hillard, he carried her down the chimney-like stairs through the intense heat and smoke and past the fire department. Afterward, they returned upstairs to finish their search. Altman's determination and aggressive search above and in controlled fire saved a life that day. Today, the Near to Mid and Society and Franklin Delano Roosevelt Medal is being awarded to Lieutenant Scott Altman of Squad 41, the best of both worlds. The next medal is the Hispanic Society and 23rd Street Fire Memorial Medal of Valor presented to firefighter Donlin Finnegan of Ladder Company 42. Ladder 42 responded to a reported fire on the 6th floor of a 14-story Bronx high-rise with reports of people trapped. Arriving on scene, Ladder 42 found a woman trapped behind a window gate with heavy smoke. Firefighter Finnegan and then firefighter Mahoney expertly positioned the aerial ladder and climbed up to assist the woman. At the window, the woman told them her boyfriend was still inside. Firefighter Finnegan revealed this information as now Lieutenant Mahoney began removing the child gate. The inside team couldn't enter due to a barricaded door and was breaching the wall from the next apartment. Knowing the time was of the essence, Lieutenant Mahoney decided to enter the window and search for the missing man while firefighter Finnegan removed the woman. Finnegan also entered to help the disoriented woman, lifted her onto the aerial and secured her with weapon outside the 6th floor window as engine 73 knocked down the fire. Once conditions improved and the breach was enlarged, Finnegan and other members brought the woman back into the apartment through the breach and down to EMS. For his actions, the Hispanic Society and 23rd Street Memorial Medal of Valor is being awarded to firefighter Donlin Finnegan of Ladder Company 42, La Casa de la Fonte. Now we present the Chief James Scullion Medal, now firefighter Joseph Moreno and EMT Vincent Palizzi of Station 40. On April 6, 2025, EMT Palizzi and firefighter Moreno responded to a call in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. What began as a standard emergency quickly escalated into a life-threatening ordeal, testing their training and resolve. Palizzi and Moreno were dispatched after a child reported she and her siblings had been stabbed but didn't know her address. Joined by NYPD officers, they searched the area, knocking on doors and asking bystanders for clues. The caller, still on the line, pled for help, saying her uncle was going to kill her family. A young boy pointed out the likely house. As they approached, screams were heard inside. Palizzi kicked in the door, and they encountered a man with a bloody meat cleaver coming up the stairs. Police ordered the man to drop the knife. When he advanced, they fired, striking him. Despite the chaos, Moreno began treating the perpetrator while Palizzi rushed downstairs to help the children. Palizzi found 3 girls in one room and the caller, 11 years old, in another. All having life-threatening injuries, he called for backup and began life-saving care. Palizzi and Moreno's persistent skill and courage under extreme pressure saved 4 young girls. For their heroic action, the Chief James Scullion Medal is awarded to firefighter Joseph Moreno and EMT Vincent Palizzi of Station 40, the Dragon's Den. Congratulations. On the scene. Our next medal is the Captain Dennis W. Lane Memorial Medal being awarded to firefighter Patrick Corrigan. On November 23rd, 2025, Ladder 165 responded first due to a fire in a private dwelling with reports of trapped occupants. The high volume of calls prompted a 1030 signal. Arriving, the heavy fire in the basement extended to the first floor. Crews transmitted at 1075. Firefighter Corrigan assigned a roof position, brought a portable ladder to the rear, and saw black smoke from a second floor bedroom. Knowing people were trapped, Corrigan vented the window, removed window guards, and entered the second floor bedroom to search. Once inside, Corrigan faced high heat and zero visibility. Amid clutter, he found an unconscious victim on the bed and transmitted as 1045. Firefighter Julio Lopez detailed the Ladder 165 from engine 317, joined Corrigan, and helped discover the second unconscious victim, a child. They alerted command and passed the child to Ladder 150, who removed the child via the ladder. Corrigan and Lopez carried the other victims downstairs and out to EMS. Firefighter Corrigan's decisive actions directly led to the rescue of both victims. For his efforts, the Captain Dennis W. Lane Memorial Medal is being awarded today to firefighter Patrick Corrigan of Ladder 165, Sleepless Nights. Our next medal is the Uniformed Fire Officers Association Medal being awarded today to Lieutenant Joseph Murphy of Ladder Company 29. On June 16, 2025, companies responded to a fire in a 6-story non-fireproof Bronx building. Ladder 29 arrived in just over 3 minutes. Lieutenant Murphy was told by neighbors that a victim was still inside the fire apartment. Entering the apartment, Lieutenant Murphy encountered moderate clutter and a kitchen fully involved in fire. Without a charge hose line, he bravely pushed past the flames and began a right-hand search down the hallway towards the rear bedroom. In the living room, Lieutenant Murphy found an unconscious victim near the rear bedroom door. He quickly lifted and transmitted to 1045. Firefighters Kevin Rodriguez and Matthew Kina assisted with the removal. The victim was brought to the street where EMS treated and transported the patient. Lieutenant Murphy's decisive actions, courage, and determination in advancing past intense fire conditions led directly to the discovery and removal of a trapped occupant. For his life-saving actions, the Uniformed Fire Officers Association Medal being presented to Lieutenant Joseph Murphy, Jr. of Ladder Company 29, the Bums on the Hill. Huh? Now we present the Dr. Albert A. Sinelli Medal to firefighter Brendan Byrne of Ladder Company 55. On February 28, 2025, Ladder 55 responded to a fire on the 10th floor of a 20-story building. Lieutenant Adam Weinstein, firefighter Kevin Stapleton, and firefighter Brendan Byrne took the elevator to the 8th floor, then walked up to the 10th floor where they found heavy smoke and located the fire apartment. Firefighter Byrne forced entry, suspecting someone was trapped. As the door opened, they were hit with intense heat and thick black smoke. Lieutenant Weinstein transmitted a 1077 as conditions worsened. In near zero visibility and high heat, they began an aggressive primary search, all without a charge hose line. Faint cries for help were heard. Firefighter Byrne immediately advanced towards the sound. Heavy fire was encountered in the kitchen. Firefighter Stapleton knocked back flames with his extinguisher to allow firefighter Byrne and the ability to crawl past the fire, locating an unconscious victim about 20 feet from the entrance, and alerted his officer. Lieutenant Weinstein transmitted at 1045. Firefighter Stapleton cleared the path of heavy clutter and assisted firefighter Byrne in bringing the victim to the hallway, where Ladder 19 carried them to the lobby. Determination and initiative led to this successful rescue, reflecting FDNY's highest traditions, which is why the Dr. Albert A. Sinelli Medal is bestowed upon firefighter Brendan Byrne of Ladder Company 55. Not to worry. The next medal is the Fire Chiefs Association Memorial Medal presented to firefighter Salvatore Rignola of Ladder Company 109. On September 27, 2025, Ladder 109 was directed to a reported fire on the second floor of a 4-story building. Arriving the fire vented from a second floor window, Ladder 109 transmitted at 1075. Firefighter Salvatore Rignola, the outside vent firefighter, saw fire and smoke off the fire escape and setback and chose to enter from the setback. As he climbed the portable ladder, firefighter Rignola heard the inside team was cut off by clutter and fire at the front door with reports of a person trapped. Firefighter Rignola forced entry through the kitchen window, facing high heat, zero visibility, and heavy clutter. He quickly found an unconscious victim on the debris. With fire advancing, he couldn't remove the victim through the front door. Rignola transmitted at 1045 and brought the victim to the kitchen window, meeting fire Matthew King of Rescue 5. Firefighter Christopher Sarah then carried the victim down the ladder to EMS. Rignola placed himself at great personal risk by entering through a window without a handline and zero visibility and heavy clutter to save a life. For his actions, the Fire Chiefs Association Memorial Medal is presented to firefighter Salvatore Rignola of Ladder Company 109, the 3rd Avenue Express. The next medal is the Lieutenant Kerbal McElhern Medal being awarded to EMT Keenan Barrett and EMT Shafiza Mangru of Public Safety Answering Center 1, PSAC 1. EMT Keenan Barrett and EMT Shafiza Mangru, emergency medical citywide dispatchers, displayed exceptional skills and professionalism during a challenging overnight shift on January 10th to the 11th on 2025. In just 20 minutes, they expertly managed 3 simultaneous mass casualty incidents while overseeing the citywide's desk other essential functions. Each mass casualty incident demanded meticulous attention, clear assignment, and a resource management. The first, in Queens at 11:33 p.m., was dispatched within 6 minutes after reports of multiple unconscious patients from inhalation. Barrett and Mangru quickly requested hashtag and paramedic support, coordinated with supervisors, and proactively assigned more units. At 11:53, a Manhattan call was upgraded to a mass casualty incident requiring fire dispatcher coordination. Barrett and Mangru demonstrated teamwork as one contacted fire dispatch and the other managed progress reports and monitored Queens. Relying on experience, they retained crucial supervision, upgraded the event to an MCI 80, and ensured no details were missed. Their actions exceeded expectations and exemplified the Bureau of Communications' highest standards of professionalism, teamwork, and resourcefulness. For their extraordinary work, the Lieutenant Kerbal McElhern Medal is awarded to EMT Keenan Barrett and EMT Shafiza Mangru of Public Safety Answering Center 1, PSAC 1. Congratulations. Next, we present the Battalion Chief Frank T. Telemundo Medal to firefighter Matthew Jetski of Ladder Company 172. On April 24, 2025, Engine Company 330 and Ladder 172 received a verbal in quarters for a house fire a block away. Firefighter Jetski of Ladder 172 acted quickly to notify the dispatcher and turn out the companies. Arriving in under 2 minutes, units found thick black smoke pouring from self-venting first floor windows and learned an elderly woman was trapped inside. Despite clutter and fire overhead, he began a left-hand search for the trapped woman as the Irons firefighter. About 4 feet inside, jet ski found the unconscious woman in a narrow, cluttered hallway. Shielding her from heat, he maneuvered her past the awkward door and into the kitchen, where Captain Michael Russo assisted. The engine company extinguished the fire and EMS began care. Jet ski returned to continue searching while the victim was being transported to the hospital. Through bravery and decisive action, firefighter jet ski entered the apartment alone without a hose line, found the unconscious victim, and removed her from fire, saving her life. For his action, the Battalion Chief Frank T. Telemundo Medal is being awarded today to firefighter Matthew Jetski of Ladder Company 172, the Hulk House. The next medal is the Dr. John F. Connell Medal. This medal is being awarded to firefighter Christopher Colleran of Squad Company 41. On November 4, 2025, Bronx Box 2534 was transmitted for a fire on the 3rd floor of a 6-story non-fireproof apartment building in which Squad Company 41 responded. En route, Battalion 17 transmitted a 1075 for a fire in a 3rd floor apartment. Upon arrival, Battalion Chief Daniel O'Sullivan directed Captain Thomas McHugh, firefighter Christopher Colleran, and firefighter Sean Heater to search the upper floors for victims and fire extension. Facing intense heat and smoke, they donned their masks and advanced up the stairwell past an uncontrolled fire without a charged hose line. Captain McHugh and firefighter Heater searched the 4th floor while firefighter Colleran continued to the 5th. Returning to the stairwell to search the 6th floor, he found 2 unconscious teenage girls overcome by smoke. He immediately radioed their location and requested help. With help from firefighters Heater, Brian Ross, and Michael O'Brien, firefighter Colleran carried the teens to the lobby where they began life-saving measures until EMS arrived. Colleran then returned to the top floor to finish his duties before Squad 41 was relieved. In his report, Battalion Chief O'Sullivan remarked, firefighter Colleran performed bravely and capably in severe and rapidly deteriorating conditions, avoiding a tragic situation and resulting in the rescue of both victims. For his courage and professionalism, the Dr. John F. Connell Medal is being awarded to firefighter Christopher Colleran of Squad Company 41, the best of both worlds. This medal is being presented for the first time. The Lieutenant John H. Martinson Medal is being awarded to firefighter Patrick Orlando of Ladder Company 147. On December 23rd, 2025, Ladder 147 responded to a fire in a 4-story multiple dwelling. With reports of people trapped on the 2nd floor arriving to find frantic residents, Ladder 47's inside team, firefighters Patrick Orlando, Matthew Gildersleeve, and Captain Troy Taldone ascended crowded stairs. They reached the 2nd floor, forced entry, and encountered heavy smoke, high heat, and severe clutter. Following Captain Taldone's direction, firefighter Orlando began a search as he and firefighter Gildersleeve cleared debris. The main fire was found in the living room, and a roof firefighter reported an occupant trapped behind fire at a courtyard window as a rope rescue was being set up. Firefighter Orlando crawled past the fire toward a moaning victim. As firefighter Gildersleeve removed an unconscious person from the hallway, he relayed there was more groaning from a rear bedroom. Orlando pushed further, found a 2nd unconscious victim in a rear bedroom, and reported their location. He sheltered the victim, closing the door to protect them until safe removal was possible. Entering the fire department under life-threatening conditions, passing fire without a hose line, and helping rescue 2 civilians shows courage and judgment reflecting the highest traditions of the FDNY. The first ever Lieutenant John H. Martinson Medal is being awarded to firefighter Patrick Orlando of Ladder Company 147, the pride of Flatbush. Little higher proof. I took a break from it. Up next is the Fire Bell Club Medal being awarded to firefighter John Daly Jr. of Ladder 58 while detailed to Marine 4. On an evening of June 7, 2025, while out on patrol, Marine Corps received a Mayday call for a vessel on fire near Hart Island. Positioned just north of the scene, the crew spotted a rising pillar of black smoke and responded without hesitation. As they approached the area, they discovered a chaotic situation. A 36-foot yacht was engulfed in flames, and 23 people were struggling in the water, surrounded by debris. Firefighter John Daly, the backup rescue swinger, quickly prepared for action. Noticing a man pulling a woman on the water as he tried to stay afloat, Daly dove into the cold, debris-filled water without a tether. He reached the pair, secured both victims, and fought the strong current to bring them back towards Marine Corps. Firefighter Eric Falk, after already saving a victim, re-entered the water to assist Daly. And together they managed to bring the victim safely onto the vessel. Once aboard, Daly administered life-saving care to both individuals and then helped treat a third victim already rescued. The crew raced to the Hart Island Ferry terminal, where EMS personnel were standing by to provide further treatment. Daly's extraordinary courage and perseverance in the face of exhaustion saved 3 lives during a chaotic, dangerous rescue. His selfless actions embodied the highest traditions of FDNY. For his bravery and determination, the Fire Bell Club Medal is bestowed upon firefighter John Daly Jr., Marine Corps. Congratulations. The next award is the firefighter David J. DeFranco Medal, being awarded to firefighter Eric Falk, Engine 265 by Detail, the Marine Corps. This is the second medal being awarded today for this vessel fire. On June 7, 2025, Marine Corps received a Mayday for a burning vessel near Hart Island. The crew positioned nearby spotted black smoke and responded immediately. Firefighter Falk, assigned as rescue swimmer for the tour, quickly suited up as Marine Corps reached a burning 36-foot yacht with 23 people in the water. Falk spotted a teenage girl slipping beneath the surface 50 yards away, dove in, and rescued her. He brought her to the boat where the crew began life-saving care. Falk then assisted firefighter John Daly, who was rescuing 2 more victims in the strong current. Together, they got 2 more victims onto Marine Corps. Once on board, Falk helped resuscitate the teenage girl as they rushed to Hart Island Ferry Terminal, where she regained consciousness. For his courage, quick action, and commitment to saving lives at a great personal risk, the firefighter David J. DeFranco Medal is awarded to firefighter Eric Falk, Marine Corps. Our next honor is the Deputy Commissioner Christine R. Godek Medal, presented to now Supervising Fire Marshal Brian Feely and Fire Marshal Derek Harwood of Citywide North Command. On January 28, 2025, Battalion 26 responded to a suspicious fire in a 5-story occupied building in the Bronx. Rubbish had been intentionally ignited in the front vestibule, blocking the main exit and filling the building with smoke, endangering residents. The Bureau of Fire Investigation launched a 13-day probe. Fire Marshals Brian Feely and Fire Marshal Derek Harwood gathered evidence, interviewed witnesses, and confirmed the use of accelerants. They soon identified a recently released 58-year-old convicted felon with a history of arson as the prime suspect. Supplementing traditional investigative techniques with using social media and open source intelligence platforms, the marshals linked the suspect to a separate assault and 2 attempted attacks on NYC bus passengers. The marshals secured evidence and, during their investigation, responded to a report of a man trying to set people on fire in a hardware store along the suspect's known route. The store manager identified the fleeing suspect. The marshals quickly apprehended him nearby, finding a hand knife, pepper spray, and lighters. The suspect was charged with arson, assault, burglary, and reckless endangerment. The marshal's decisive actions protected lives and property. For their professionalism, courage, the Deputy Commissioner Christine R. Godek Medal is awarded to now Supervising Fire Marshal Brian Feely and Fire Marshal Derek Harwood, Citywide North Command. Congratulations. Oh, I'm counting. Got to gauge how to eat the snacks, when to take a sip of water. He takes a break. I take. I die. What do you think? Huh? You got it. Our next medal is the Probationary Firefighter Thomas A. Wiley Medal, awarded to Firefighter John Palmer, Bladder Company 144. On September 12, 2025, Ladder Company 144 responded to a second alarm fire in a two-story home in College Point, Queens. Arriving on scene, they saw heavy smoke and fire in two buildings. A woman reported her father was trapped on the second floor. The inside team, Captain Joseph Canelli, firefighter Rafael Hernandez, and probationary firefighter John Palmer entered through the front door. They ascended to the second floor in high heat and zero visibility. Hernandez and Palmer began forcing the locked apartment door at the top of the stairs. The small landing and heat from the inferno below made this a very difficult door to force. Once inside, the team from Ladder 144 began their search. Firefighter Palmer found an unconscious man in the bathroom, called a 1045, and Hernandez assisted with the rescue. They brought the victim to the landing and passed him to other members, who removed the victim to a safe area and provided life-saving care. Palmer and Hernandez then returned to the apartment and searched for fire extension and called for a hose line. For his determined action, the probationary firefighter Thomas A. Wiley Medal is awarded to firefighter John Palmer, Ladder 144, the Whitestone Eagles. Good job, Proby. Up next is the Captain John J. Drennan Medal, presented to firefighter Alexander Raynor of Ladder Company 37. On April 20th, you're not a firefighter. Yep, you're Corey. Go back. Our next presentation is the firefighter Kevin C. Kane Medal, awarded to now Lieutenant James Corey of Ladder Company 6. On March 31st, 2025, Engine Company 9 and Ladder Company 6 responded to the East River for a person in the water facing freezing temperatures and a difficult seawall extraction. Lieutenant Lewis Chan of Engine 9 located the victim while with an extensive construction project blocking his view. While Ladder 6's designated rescue swimmers, firefighter James Corey and firefighter Wilson Lamb, prepared for water entry. Ladder 6 tossed a tethered life-saving ring to the exhausted victim. Engine 9 and Ladder 6 pulled him to shore and tried to hoist him up to the seawall. The victim lost grip and fell back into the frigid river. Firefighter Corey, as a primary water rescuer, immediately jumped in, tethered and wearing a flotation device, and battling the strong current to rescue the victim. With help from Engine 9 and Ladder 6, Corey and the team used a ladder to remove the incapacitated victim from the water. The victim was brought over a fence and treated by Engine 9 until the arrival of EMS units. For his bravery and quick action in the icy river, the firefighter Kevin C. Kane Medal is awarded to now Lieutenant James Corey of Ladder Company 6, Chinatown Dragon Fighters. Up next is the Captain John J. Drennan Medal, presented to firefighter Alexander Raynor of Ladder Company 37. On April 23rd, 2025, Ladder 37 responded to a fire in a 6-story Bronx apartment building. The inside team found heavy smoke and heat on the second floor, indicating a serious fire. Captain William Mannion transmitted a 1075 and ordered his team to force entry. Firefighter Alexander Raynor and Ryan Flatley entered, searching in opposite directions while controlling the door. Despite zero visibility and worsening heat, firefighter Raynor searched through the kitchen into the living room where the main fire was located. With no hose protection, Raynor made the quick and courageous decision to push past the fire towards the rear, finding an unconscious resident in the bathroom. He called it 1045 and dragged the victim 25 feet to safety. Firefighter Flatley held the fire back with an extinguisher while Raynor performed patient care until Engine 81 arrived and transported the victim to the awaiting EMS units in the lobby. Raynor then completed a primary search, confirming no other victims were there. For his bravery, the Captain John J. Duran Memorial Medal is bestowed upon firefighter Alexander Raynor of Ladder Company 37, Briggs Avenue. Our next honor is the Jack Pinchek Medal presented to EMT Ryan Bonamici and EMT Matthew Michaels of Station 15. On June 13, 2025, EMTs Bonamici and Michaels began their shift at EMS Station 15. 8 minutes later, they responded to a call on White Plains Road in the Bronx, which ended in a refusal of medical assistance. While wrapping up, they saw smoke above the subway track and discovered a nearby building was on fire. Bonamici and Michaels drove towards the fire and alerted dispatch. Upon arrival, residents were fleeing and reported people trapped on the third floor. With no fire units present, the EMTs acted quickly. Bonamici and Michaels entered the building, shouting and banging on doors to alert residents and urge them to evacuate. The fire department on the third floor was inaccessible. However, the EMTs instructed occupants to exit through windows and the fire escape. Their actions helped the top floor residents escape. Bonamici and Michaels then assisted others on lower floors, including 2 people and their dog. After evacuating residents, Michaels and Bonamici triaged and treated patients, prioritizing those needed urgent care. Their courage and quick thinking saved lives and exemplified the highest FDNY standard. For their action, the Jack Pinchek Medal is being awarded to EMT Ryan Bonamici and EMT Matthew Michaels of Station 15. 15 strong. Congratulations. The Captain Allison Russo North Star Medal is the next medal being presented to Lieutenant Brian Cotio and EMS Special Operation Command. On June 22nd, 2025, Lieutenant Brian Cotio of FDNY EMS Special Operations Command demonstrated exceptional courage and clinical skills during a Bronx fireground emergency with multiple maydays. As a mayday was transmitted, Cotio responded to the front of the fire building where a firefighter was removed unconscious with smoke inhalation. Lieutenant Cotio took control, rapidly assisted the firefighter, and coordinated paramedics Michael Montemarano and Jessica Vega. Cotio requested and administered critical life-saving treatment. The firefighter was removed from hazards and transported to the hospital for care. Cotio maintained command under pressure. When 2 more maydays were transmitted for a ceiling collapse, he triaged the injured firefighters and ensured appropriate care. Thanks to Lieutenant Cotio and his team, the firefighter's condition improved during transport and he recovered fully. Cotio's rapid assessment and fearless response saved firefighters' lives. For his extraordinary professionalism, The Captain Allison Russo North Star Medal is awarded to Lieutenant Brian Cote of EMS Special Operations Command. Congratulations. Up next is the Dr. Sheldon Jacobson Medal presented to now probationary firefighter Michael Ortiz of Station 8. In March 2025, rescue paramedics and specialty resources responded to a worker trapped beneath a dumbwaiter in Manhattan after a cable snapped, dropping it 3 stories onto him. The dumbwaiter was in a shaft with no direct access. Rescue 1's officer maintained verbal contact. The victim was alert but in severe pain. Fire operation breached the wall to create a small access point so rescue medic Michael Ortiz could assess the victim in hazardous confined conditions. Ortiz and Lieutenant Eric Guerin reached the victim and provided advanced care while fire operations lifted the dumbwaiter. The victim was continuously monitored and treated throughout the operation. After removal, FDNY EMS transported the patient to the hospital. For his skill and composure in a dangerous environment, the Dr. Sheldon Jacobson Medal is awarded to now probationary firefighter Michael Ortiz, formerly of Station 8, first and still the best. Next is the medal also being presented for the first time. The inaugural Commissioner Robert S. Tucker Medal awarded to Fire Alarm Dispatcher Scott Hanratty of the Brooklyn Communications Office. On September 20th, 2024, Fire Alarm Dispatcher Scott Hanratty answered a frantic call from a woman trapped on the second floor of a herb burning Brooklyn home. Within 29 seconds, fire companies were en route. Hanratty learned both the woman and her mother were trapped by fire. He quickly relayed vital information to Engine 255, Ladder 157, and responding units, pinpointed the caller's location, and kept her calm, even as she faded in and out of consciousness. Ladder 157, facing high heat and zero visibility, reached the victim, who eventually lost consciousness. Hanratty stayed on the phone until Lieutenant Michael McPartland transmitted at 10:45. Both victims were rescued by firefighters, turned over to EMS, and transported to the hospital. Lieutenant McPartland later received the Emerald Society Pipes and Drums Medal for his actions. For his calm, quick actions that helped save 2 lives, the first ever recipient of the Commissioner Robert S. Tucker Medal is a Fire Alarm Dispatcher Scott Hanratty of the Brooklyn Communications Office. Congratulations. Another medal being awarded for the first time, the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire Memorial Medal, presented to Chief Inspector Joseph Rogers, now Deputy Chief Inspector Jose Martinez, and Supervising Inspector Stephen Barris of the Bureau of Fire Prevention Special Inspections Unit. On March 28, 2025, the FDNY Bureau of Fire Prevention Special Inspections Unit was asked by Division 14 to investigate a possible illegal medical facility at Queens Box 7606. Earlier, Engine Company 312 responded to a medical call finding an unresponsive woman undergoing a procedure. She was taken to the hospital in serious condition. On arrival, Supervising Inspector Martinez and Barris met NYPD at the location. The front door was locked, but someone was seen inside. At the rear, they found an open door and entered due to the circumstances. Inside, they found medical devices and medication indicating illegal activity. The Special Inspections Unit team notified NYC Emergency Management Department of Mental Health and Hygiene, Law Enforcement, Engine 312, and the FDNY paramedics, all of whom responded. The team identified the individual who performed the procedure, but he fled. NYPD detective considered him a flight risk, and the U.S. Customs detained and arrested him at the airport as he tried to leave the country. These FDNY special inspectors acted quickly, gaining entry to an illegal medical clinic, making key notifications, and working with NYPD and other agencies to apprehend the suspect before he fled the country. For their outstanding efforts, the inaugural Triangle Shirtwaist Fire Memorial Medal is awarded to Chief Inspector Joseph Rogers, now Deputy Chief Inspector Jose Martinez, and Supervising Inspector Stephen Barris of the Bureau of Fire Investigation Special Inspection Unit. Congratulations. Page 49. Just throw out the names. After this one. Our next medal is the Lieutenant James Curran and New York Firefighters Burn Center Foundation Medal, presented to Engine Company 46. On February 12, 2025, Engine Company 46 arrived third due at a Bronx Box 3160 to find heavy fire spreading rapidly from a two-story dwelling to the adjacent Budapest Temple. Both buildings connected by a first-floor hallway were threatened as fire consumed the porch, side, and upper windows, sending thick black smoke billowing out. Rescue Company 3 and Ladder Company 27 quickly began search operations on the top floor of the temple. Engine 46, under the direction of Captain Robert Wilson, stretched a hand line to the building just as a live power line compromised by the fire fell onto the front steps, creating an immediate hazard for all members operating at the scene. Despite this danger, Engine 46 nozzle team, firefighters Andrew Heeb and Eric Riley, advanced and knocked down heavy fire at the porch and doorway. Firefighter Christopher Garcia supported the effort, carefully flaking out the hose line and avoiding the live wire before advancing up the steps. Chauffeur Brian White coordinated with Engine 75 chauffeur to resolve a water supply issue caused by a blocked hydrant, ensuring hand lines were quickly charged. Inside, the nozzle team extinguished a burning staircase and heavy kitchen fire, also knocking down flames from the exterior window. With the first floor under control, Engine 46 ascended the burnt-out stairway to the second floor, encountering heavy fire in the hallway and front rooms, while Ladder 27 conducted searches. Ladder 33 located 2 victims in the connected building. Engine 46 continued suppression and remained on scene until relieved. For their action, the Lieutenant James Curran and New York Firefighters Burn Center Foundation Medal is presented to Captain Robert Wilson, Firefighter Christopher Garcia, Andrew Heeb, Eric Riley, Brian Wade of Engine Company 46, the Cross Bronx Express. and there's, what's it, a light? We can talk. But talk soon, because I hear when you retire. After you're out for a while, you're like, listen, I ain't gonna. Next, the firefighter Thomas R. Assassin Memorial Medal awarded to Rescue Company 2. On March 28, 2025, Rescue Company 2 responded to a reported fire in a Canarsie private dwelling known for 2 stories in the front, 3 in the rear with cellar access. Engine Company 310 and Ladder Company 174 arrived to heavy smoke from the second floor entrance, while the first floor was initially cleared. As Ladder 174 and Engine 310 advanced, fire from the cellar caused the stairs to collapse. 6 members were in the stairwell. Some clung to debris while others fell 10 feet into the cellar. Before the collapse, Captain Liam Flaherty had reported to Battalion 5-8 where he was directed to split his unit's efforts. Radio transmission indicated there was now a fire in the cellar. Captain Flaherty searched for cellar stairs while firefighter Douglas Gaynor and Peter Brady assisted upstairs. Firefighter Mark Checkett worked on the first floor and firefighter George Jakumovic prepared for a roof rope rescue. Captain Flaherty found multiple members trapped. Battalion 5-8 ordered Engine 257 to search a second line, and Captain Flaherty called for a water curtain to protect the trapped members. To extricate members, Captain Flaherty requested a scissor ladder. Brady retrieved it while Peake secured a second ladder. Captain Flaherty descended into the cellar amid heat and smoke to guide members out. Checkett and Peake assisted pulling members to safety. Jakumovic readied the life-saving rope for a potential below-grade rescue. Brady and Engine 255 stretched a third line to the rear cellar entrance, extinguishing the fire. Captain Flaherty and firefighter Gaynor searched the collapsed area and reported all members are accounted for. Rescue 2's rapid response reduced injuries to those trapped. For their skill and competence, the firefighter Thomas R. Assassin Memorial Medal is awarded to Captain Liam Flaherty, firefighters Peter Brady, Mark Checkett, Douglas Gaynor, George Jakumovic, and Cameron Peake of Rescue Company 2, The Rescue. Our final recognition today is the World Trade Center Memorial Medal Award to Ladder Company 56. On June 22nd, 2025, Ladder 56 responded as a fast truck to a major fire at Bronx Box 3360. They encountered heavy fire in a peaked roof private dwelling, rapidly spreading to exposures 2 and 4. All 3 homes were burning with dangerous interior conditions. As fire intensified and stairs burned through, Lieutenant Matarazza ordered firefighter Fleming to ladder the stairs for access. A mayday was given for a missing firefighter low on air and exposure 2. Firefighter Mustraccio was able to identify that member on EFAS and relay that information to Lieutenant Matarazza and firefighter Tati, who then entered, located the firefighter in the attic, and safely removed them to EMS. Almost simultaneously, another mayday came for a downed firefighter in the original fire building. Then firefighter Donahue and firefighter Fleming quickly deployed with the Stokes basket to assist while Rescue 3 began the removal. Despite worsening conditions, Ladder 56 and Rescue 3 coordinated a rapid removal. Firefighter Dadabo assisted with SCBA removal and provided emergency aid, ensuring the firefighter received life-saving care. With fire conditions deteriorating, Lieutenant Matarazza ordered more ladders to exposure to, enabling trapped members at the attic window to evacuate. Ladder 56 teamwork and coordinated efforts removed multiple firefighters from life-threatening conditions at a rapidly spreading fire. For their actions, the World Trade Center Memorial Medal is bestowed upon Lieutenant Patrick Matarazza. And now, Lieutenant Patrick Donahue, firefighters James Dadabo, Kevin Fleming, Thomas Mastraccio, and John Taddy of Ladder Company 56, the House of Hate. I concur. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for all of this year's Medal Day winners? We can get a lot louder than that now. Let's let them hear it, let them hear it, let them hear it. Excellent job, and you make FDNY proud. Will everyone please rise for the benediction by FDNY Chaplain, Father Fred Pellegrini. I know. Short and sweet.
A year ago, we couldn't have known what this Medal Day would recognize and celebrate, or what would even happen on any tour. And yet here we are. Look at the people and accomplishments we have just recognized and celebrated. We also recognize and celebrate the training, the ingenuity, the hard work, the teamwork, the courage, and the commitment that make FDNY and EMS what it is and what it does every day. We are proud and grateful for these brothers and sisters from our department whose work and selflessness stand out so much. Good and gracious God, give us all your blessing now, and let it last throughout this coming year, so that it gives us a bit more of those special gifts that our service needs for the people of New York City. Make us ready to respond with all the tools and knowledge and gifts we have, so that people are safer, lives are a bit happier, and New York City is even greater. We give you this prayer with humility and with great gratitude for your protection over us, over those we love, and over this great city and department. Amen.
Thank you, Father Pellegrini. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Mayor, Fire Commissioner, Chief of Department, and other members of the executive staff, thank you for joining us at today's Medal Day ceremony. Before we end, we would like to take a group photo of the medalists with the Mayor, Fire Commissioner, and Chief of Department. Medalists, please rise and remain at your seats while the Fire Department photographer organizes the photo. Thank you all for attending today's ceremony, and as always, look out for one another. Please enjoy the day. Take care.